Today on Coach's Corner, we have Coach Mike. How you doing, good brother?
How you doing, bro?
Thank you for being with us today. I wanted to give a little background on the good brother Mike. I met him when we was in high school. From then it been on. Seeing this dude, I noticed that he could hoop. You know, whenever you know some of the good players or some of the competitive players, around, I just take to that, especially as a young man. I think I was about 13, 14 when I met him.
He was young.
He was about 15. I'm like, man, who is this guy? You know, I actually met him, being out of bounds.
Yeah, I was recruiting you.
Hey, man.
My point guard.
Hey, man, I was out of bounds, man.
The whole time, you already go to my school.
I just so happened to be at his school playing ball. One time when I got in some trouble, like I said, I was out of bounds. I believe I was suspended, but I didn't want my parents to know. So I made a stop down at Carver. And like I said, that's when I met the good brother. Since then, it been on, right? We've been hooping here, hooping there, hooping against each other, hooping with each other. Man, and I just love God's spirit, man. Since then, since his playing days, have been on the coaching, and that's why we got him here today on the couch. Thank you for being here today, good brother.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna get it started. All right, so we know, again, like I said, we touched on a little bit of the playing days as a young fella. Go into that a little bit about it. When did you start playing? When did you fall in love with this game that you coach now today?
If you talk about when I fell in love with the game, it seemed like I was born into it. Like, my mother tell me stories about being on the basketball court when I had Pampers on. You know what I mean? Running around, different stuff like that. But when I really can remember my first, like, man, I got to do this was watching UNLV beat Duke in 1990. It was before that because I used to watch Mike and Isaiah, and I used to watch the game. I used to love the game, just period. But when I can really say that I was going to do it, was watching UNLV. I was with my cousin, and we was watching the Final Four when UNLV beat Duke. And after that, man, I ain't never put the ball down, And from that point, I just been doing it. That's been my passion.
So when you seen that game, which side did you lean on the most, please? With all due respect. Thank you, please.
I think that started my Duke hate right there. You know what I'm saying? I was big.
And what age was that?
I was 10. I was 10 at that time.
Okay.
I was 10 at that time.
The Duke hate is real. Yeah.
I ain't never liked Duke.
Okay.
I like players from Duke, but I'm a purist. You know what I'm saying? If you can play, you got game, then but I ain't no fan of Duke.
Okay. So this leads me into my first question. Who was that coach for you when you was coming up? You know, we all have our one coach. We all have our sensei, or most of us do. Who would be your sensei?
It's funny that you say sensei because he's my Mr. Miyagi.
Right.
And you put like and I'm gonna give you the background of the story, but Pierre Johnson, man, Master P, man, Pierre. Everything that I do, everything that I'm about, probably was instilled by Pierre, man. Everything. You know what I mean? And like I said, I can give you the background. So, I tell you, when I was 10, I really started playing. Then I moved around Potler Grove. When I moved around there, I put a crate up in my yard, and we was playing. I used to play in my yard, and dudes around the way came like, "No, sure, you gotta go up the gym." So I used to go up the gym, up St. Edwards, and Pierre would never let me in the gym. He would never let me in the gym. The kids been there hooping. Like, nah, sure, you can't come in. You feel me? I'm like 11, 12 years old. So one day, he up there, and you gotta wax him out the floor and stuff. So when I get up there, he like, you wanna come in here? You been trying to get in here, right? Only way I'm gonna let you in here is you help him out the floor. You know what I'm saying? And I helped him out the floor. You know what I mean? And like the sensei part about it is that was the beginning of our story right there. Like I mopped that floor. Like at the end of the day, I ended up living in that gym, and just everything that I did on the basketball tip was derived in that gym right there.
So you saying your first time in the gym, it wasn't with a jump shot.
Nope.
It wasn't with a layup. It was with a broom and a mop.
With a broom and a mop. So I'm gonna retract the story. I started at C.C. Jackson. My first gym experience was at C.C. Jackson. I used to go to C.C. Jackson every day. I went to Park Heights Elementary.
C.C. Jackson, y'all let this guy go?
I got cut up C.C. Jackson.
C.C. Jackson.
My first year up C.C. Jackson, I got cut. I never played on the team of C.C. Jackson, but I used to play in the rec. I used to run around Miss Angie, Miss Snowden, all them up there. But Pierre was the one, you know what I mean, that he allowed me in the gym, gave me the keys to the gym. And the first book, the second book I'm gonna write, because I just finished the book, but the second book I'm gonna write is gonna be called Wax On, Wax Off, because that was our story. You know what I'm saying? He said when you write your book, yo, it's gonna be called Wax On, Wax Off, and you know where Wax On, Wax Off come from?
Right.
Karate Kid.
Right.
So when you say sensei, that's who my sensei was.
Okay.
Pierre Johnson, man.
Okay. And give us a little background on Karate Kid, because there's some young guys that's going to watch
Karate Kid, you had
Coach.
You had Mr. Miyagi, and you had Daniel-san. You had Daniel-san, you had Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi would teach Daniel-san so many different lessons in so many different ways, you know what I'm saying? And when I think about Pierre and all the experiences and the thing that he gave me, it was really just like that. He would just give me different stones and different nuggets and put me in position to apply them. Like, he had me coaching when I was 14, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, 14 years old coaching 10-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Was it House League?
It was BNBL.
Oh, BNBL.
It was BNBL. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So
that's citywide.
Citywide, coaching against the best team, Bentlow, Oliver, coaching against all these teams. And to this day, them kids that I coached still look at me like, big bro, Mike, that's an experience that they had to think about. Like, yo, he was coaching me back then. Yo, still coaching right now. You know what I'm saying? I look at a lot of stuff like that. Like I say, everything that I really gained from my experience with Pierre is everything that I'm pretty much doing now, from basketball to community. You know what I'm saying? Is based upon what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I always want to give him kudos for just instilling that in me early. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Coach Pierre.
Master P.
So, what's some of the things that you learned from your playing days that you use today still?
First and foremost, the two most important things to me is always you gotta work hard. You gotta work hard, and you gotta have fun working hard. If you apply those things, then you'll see yourself getting better. You'll see yourself getting better. But at the end of the day, I looked at basketball as a job. It was a way for me to change my life. You know what I mean? So I applied everything into that. What I tell kids now is, yeah, put everything into it, but also have a plan B. You know what I'm saying? So they the main thing that I take from my playing days, that I take into my life of coaching now, because I didn't have a plan B. You know what I mean? I had basketball to fall on, And if I'd have knew better, that, not to say I didn't have any other skills or anything like that, but I just put all my eggs in one basket. And by me doing that, when it was time for me to pivot into something else, I wasn't ready. You feel me? So I want these kids to be ready. So we're gonna always apply the hard work in basketball that we do, but it's gonna be also instilled in the hard work in school and figuring out your other gifts, you know.
Okay. How would you describe your coaching style in one sentence?
I can describe it in one word: intense. I'm a very intense coach. I'm all about development, and once we develop, then it's all about how hard you go. We always gotta go hard. You go hard, then that's half the battle right there. That's 90% of the battle, honestly.
Okay. So, one thing that I know is since you've been coaching, or even before you got into the coaching, real heavy, I know that you started your own program.
Yeah.
So, the program, tell us about the program.
So, it wasn't even, I didn't even start the program. It wasn't even a program to begin with. It was just me just paying homage to men from the beginning. Men like you, men like our brothers that were in their kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I really wasn't able to see my kids like I wanted to, but I still wanted to pay homage to the men who were being fathers. So I did a cookout, and from that cookout, I invited a whole bunch of kids to come and play ball. And from that, like, it turned into a big tournament. It turned into a big tournament that day. We had, like I say, I was expecting 2 teams to come. We eat our food, play some music, and had a good time, man. It ended up being like 30 kids down there, and we was able to create 6 teams, and they had the time of their life, to the point where after that day, that was Father's Day 2013. Father's Day 2013, I did the first Father's Day cookout. We had the tournament. I got out there at 7 o'clock that morning. By 7:30, it was 5 little kids out there that I ain't know, that I ain't talked to, that I ain't, you know what I'm saying? And 10:30, 11 o'clock that night, I seen them same little kids outside. And when I rolled past them, they was like, Mike, when we gonna do it again?
At 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock that night.
They started at 8.
They started at 7 o'clock that morning. They was out there 7 o'clock that morning. So all that did was just motivate me and just show me that first and foremost, that I was doing something that was supposed to be done. And then just motivated me to keep doing it, you know what I'm saying, and start really doing it. At this time, it's right before I became a trainer. Like, I had started training a few kids at that time, but I did Fathers in the Hood, and right after I did Fathers in the Hood, Bullock reached out to me. And when Bullock reached out to me, it was like the perfect situation for me, you know what I'm saying, because it allowed me to be more visible than I was on the basketball scene. Like, I had made it from my playing days. I made a wrong turn, you feel me, and I had to find my footing to get back to who I was and what I wanted to do. And I started training. Then I did Fathers in the Hood, and then right the next year, Bullock reached out to me. Right after I did the second Fathers in the Hood, he reached out to me, and I started training down at Premier. And when I made that connection, everything changed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me go back 1 second, because you said that you touched on it a little bit in the beginning. You said you put all your eggs in one basket as far as basketball. A lot of the younger fellas that's gonna watch this, they not gonna understand what you mean at first, right? Some of them is a little different than us nowadays. We was on the basketball court. We was at the rec. because we wanted to. We lived in the rec. We lived on the basketball court. We lived at Cloverdale. We lived at the park. We lived at Bentlow Court. We lived at Easterwood. We lived at all these outside courts coming up in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Nowadays, you got parents chasing the kids around for training, and they got to make them, and they got to do all these things. When you was in your playing days and you say you had your difficulties, let's touch back on that a little bit, because that was young man Coach Mike, right? That was before really Coach Mike developed. That was young man Mike. That was trying to find my basketball self Mike, right?
Yeah.
So let's touch back on that a little bit. When it comes to being a player, all right, beyond your playing days, what would you define as a win and a loss in that category?
That's a little different question for me. So if we talking about during my high school days, when we talking about my high school days, I was dealing with a lot of dysfunction in my household. You know what I'm saying? So basketball was the biggest distraction that I used to free my mind from the things that I had going on. As a lot of people know, in the 90s, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, we had a real bad epidemic with crack. You know what I'm saying? And in my household, my mother was on drugs, my sister was on drugs. I had a blind nephew and I had a younger brother. That was what was in my household. And leading up to high school, I had lived in about 50 houses. When I got to high school, I was living in a vacant house. You know what I mean? Living in that vacant house. My family came. A little known fact that people probably don't know is that I started at Dunbar. I started at Dunbar. When I was at Dunbar, I got cut. Ended up, like I said, my family was living in a vacant house. My family from Virginia found out that we were living in a vacant house, came up here, took us down Virginia. So when I was 14, I was in Virginia. Then I came back up here with Pierre. When I came back up here with Pierre, that's when everything like shifted for me, and I really like attacked the game in a whole different way. Like I got up at 6 in the morning. I hit the floor. Did my push-ups. I had a curl bar. I used to do my curls. I go out there. Like again, I had a advantage on a lot of people because I lived in a gym. So for me, living in the gym, I can go out at 3, 4 in the morning and get shots up. You feel me? I can shoot in the dark. I can shoot in the light. You know what I'm saying? So for me, basketball was just a way to not think about what I really had going on at home, all the pressure that I had going on at home, all the things that I had to do at home. Sometimes I might have had to scrape money together to get rent or whatever we might have needed. So just having basketball to escape to was a win for me. You know what I'm saying? And then to begin getting notoriety from that game was another win for me. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I lost my sister when I was in my junior year of high school. So, and then when we talk about wins and losses, it's different. It's different ways that you can look at it. Like, I feel like I lost at Dunbar because I felt like that was the school that I was supposed to be at, but I didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? But then I come back. I go to Carver. When I go to Carver, it turned to a win for me because now again I'm building a name for myself. Like I knew I was good enough to make that Dunbar team, but because nobody knew my name, first day, nobody know y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Y'all gonna know me this next year. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And I made sure that they knew who I was. You feel me? I hit 38 on them on JV. You feel me? And that's another thing that I used to do. I just made lists. Like Pierre made me make. Like I was watching somebody. I can't think of who was talking about the other day. Shea Gildas Alexander talking about his hit list, you know what I'm saying? And your targets, you know what I'm saying? I just had targets, you feel me? People that I looked at, that I watched, and was like, oh, all right, that's where I got to get to. That's where I got to get to. But back to the wins and losses question. Yeah, basketball was the biggest win that I had in my life during that time. Then I lost my sister, you know what I mean? And the way that shifted things for me was kind of different. She was like my best friend. She was 10 years older than me, but she was my best friend. But then it was like, God just lifted me, you feel me? And that's the year that I averaged 30, you feel me?
So this was in your senior
year? My junior year, like I averaged 30 that year. I was cooking everybody, and it was like, I was doing things that I couldn't believe that I was doing, so I knew I had something with me, you know what I'm saying? And then going into my senior year, just being motivated, trying to get a scholarship, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get a scholarship. And we talk about losses, you feel me? I failed the class my last semester. And failing that class my last semester kind of shifted what could have been for me, you know what I'm saying? But like we was talking about all our eggs in one basket, that's because all I was focused on was that ball, you know what I mean? And where that ball was going to get me at. Instead of, no, I'm an honor roll student. I got my SAT scores already. I got everything that I need.
Just one class.
I failed one class and got to go to summer school. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Where's
saying?
that teacher at, man? Come on, teacher.
And he did it to prove a point to me.
We couldn't get the C, baby.
To prove, but to prove a point to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's a point that I get now, but at the time it was just like, come on, Mr. Myers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
come on, Mr. Myers.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a lesson that I had to learn. You know what I mean? And another thing, another reason why I probably didn't. So we talk about losses. I didn't get a scholarship anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go straight to school anywhere. So when I go back to how I never had an address for a college to send me a letter, to send anything to. So they sent everything to the school. I never knew what they sent to the school. You know what I'm saying? I found out years later that I had letters coming from colleges at Carver, you know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't send letters to an address that they had for me, or they would send the letters to an old address or something that I had, you know what I'm saying? So, again, just going back to the dysfunction I lived in, you know what I'm saying? We talk about the kids now. It's a two-way street with how the parents handle things, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad more parents are involved because kids need that guidance, and if they're not involved, then we're gonna look for guidance from other places. We're gonna look for guidance from other places, and that's another mistake that I made. I was looking for guidance from other places, and I ended up, cause I ain't know what to do once I left high school, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm going to college. You know what I'm saying? I ain't think about nothing else, so I don't got no college offer, not one offer. You know what I'm saying? I average 30 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I'm baffled at this point. Like, I ain't got no offers. Why ain't nobody reaching out to me? And it ain't nobody that I can directly talk to that can give me any kind of information or anything. So I'm just in the wind. And it was like the first person that came to me say, you want to do this, yo? Let's go do this. And I went and did it. Said, let's go to BCC. You feel me? And I went up BCC. And again, I was at a place where I ain't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was that experience. But
okay. So going back into your coaching, we know you started at 14 with Pierre. When was your next coaching job?
So, like I said, I started training at Premier. When I started training at Premier, um, that was my first little bit of like gaining a little, doing a little coaching here, doing a little coaching there. You know what I'm saying, with the camp and different things like that. And from the camps and from the kids that I used to train, people used to always reach out to me. I never really had a team myself, but I was coaching all these kids. At the time, Bullock really wasn't worrying about having a basketball program. He was just worrying about building this trainer program. But I would enter the kids into different leagues and different stuff like that, and I would coach. And that was pretty much the beginning of me coaching, just showing my face and my face on the scene. And then probably like in 2015, 2017, something like that. That's when Bullock started putting teams in the program and allowing different teams to play in different leagues and stuff. And when we would put the teams in different leagues, that's when I really started coaching and really getting my feet wet. Just having a good knowledge of the game, but also just having the motivation to teach the kids. Like I said, I'm really all about development. So I always wanted to just teach the kids the right way, you know what I'm saying, and allow them to have fun. Because there was a lot of kids in our program who didn't have teams to play on or wasn't good enough to play on certain teams and different stuff like that. But they still supposed to have the opportunity to play. So I would get them the opportunity. Pretty much what I do now.
Okay. So, how do you keep your players motivated? You just now went over a lot of the things that you had to go through coming up as a player. Coach Pierre was able to, or you were able to share some of your experiences with Coach Pierre. And when you did that, Coach Pierre was able to step in and say, "Don't worry about it, young fella. I'm here." So in your experiences as coaching, how do you keep your players motivated to do their tough stretches?
All right, so I coach, but I'm more so about the life thing. Again, like, you never know what these kids might be going through. You know what I'm saying? So I want to always offer an ear and a shoulder to them to really release some of the things that they might go through, because they might not have nowhere else to get it off their chest. But the motivation is them wanting to do the thing that they here to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not recruiting no kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going after no parents and trying to get them. Nah. What I want is kids that want to be a part of my program and want to be a basketball player, whatever they want to be in life. So the motivation comes from you wanting to. Now you say that you want to. Now it's my job to put the skills into the package of what you have put together. You know what I'm saying? So the way that I motivate kids is just, it's either you want to be good or you want to be great. And at the end of the day, if you want to be great, you're going to put that extra in so you can get to where you're trying to be at. You know what I'm saying? We're going to set goals, and we're going to try to get to the goals that we set. And that's the motivation right there. Don't tell me that this is what you want to do, then you come in here BSing and playing around. You know what I mean?
Okay, when we were coming up, I don't hear it as much, but I mean, sometimes it pops up. It was the word coachable. That was a real big word. I remember when we were young. In your opinion, what would make a player coachable for you?
So the first rule in anything is listening. You know what I mean? If you don't listen, then you're not going to be able to get anything. You know what I'm saying? So being able to listen and be attentive, those are two main things that I feel like that make a player coachable. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's eager to learn. When you're eager to learn, you're gonna be listening. You're gonna be paying attention. You're gonna be making eye contact and different things like that to show that you're trying to get better and you're trying to learn what you're trying to learn. Another thing is just body language and posture on the court. Your body language can and your rapport on the court can either lift the team or can bring the team down. So you have to have good body language. You have to have good rapport when you out there on the court. You have to show that you have to show positivity when you out there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you constantly showing negative, then that becomes a cancer to your team. So those three are the main things. Just being attentive and listening. Just having good posture and good body language when you're on the court. And just listening, man.
Okay, what would you consider a heart of a champion?
Heart of a champion. It's just somebody that just don't give up, man. You just don't give up. And that's what you had to have during our time. You just got to be a dog. You know what I mean? You just had to have it. Some people just didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it. And when you ain't got the heart of a champion, you give up quick. You know what I'm saying?
So would you can a champion? So we talking about the heart of a champion. It's more so like characteristics. Can a champion be a person that has suffered losses?
Absolutely. When you learn from every loss. Every loss is a lesson. Every loss should be a lesson. When we talk about L's, they not just losses. They are life lessons, and you take those lessons and you use them. That's again motivation. That's a different motivation. If I lost yesterday, or if I lost this game right here, the next thing that I'm thinking about is what's next. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you an example. So, we just lost in the championship game in Bullock Fall League, and we lost 2 games the whole season. We lost the first game, and the same team that we lost the first game to, we played in the championship game. And my key component and my key to everything is, first and foremost, we a better team than them. You know what I mean? But are we going to play as a team? Second of all, is the motivation of knowing that we lost to them. And we wasn't supposed to lose to them. You know what I mean? We lost again. We wasn't supposed to lose. We didn't play together as a team, and we didn't play smart. And the things that we should have been attentive to, like everything that we just talked about, being coachable and all those things, we didn't do. You know what I'm saying? And we lost that game because it's exactly what we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about it, it's you can see it still sting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It still sting a little bit. You know what I mean? But we supposed to have that. We supposed to have that trophy right there. And for them kids, again, like I say, I ain't out here trying to coach the best kids or no. This was kids, all rejects. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to coach. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed these kids, put them in the gym. We lost the first game. We won 9 straight. You know, and we made it to the championship. You know what I mean? And just to get these kids motivated for high school. You know what I mean? They had practice coming up. Only reason that I got the team was so they can get prepared. You know what I mean? Because I know they ain't playing on no teams or anything like that. So that'd be my motivation. You know what I'm saying? These kids that ain't really got nobody. That ain't, you know what I mean? That ain't the best kids out here. You know what I mean? That nobody really want to pour into them. I want them to see that there is somebody that's willing to pour into them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Fathers in the Hood is about. You know what I mean? We got these kids in the community who just don't have people who gonna tell them, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of them people that show them that it is men out here who got you. You know what I'm saying? And if you reach out, then I'm gonna do everything that I can to put you in a position that you need to be in to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So, And I commend you because that's what you do, bro. You know what I mean? Like you was a very, very, very big motivating factor in who I became as a coach and who I became as a mentor. You know what I mean? Just watching you with Crunch Time, shorty. Like, look at my guy, yo. You feel me? I want to get with yo, but I gotta do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do it on my own because, yeah, that's how we built. You feel me? But at the end of the day, God still always pull everything together. You know what I mean? So I'm very appreciative of you, bro.
So what life skills would you hope that every player that you encounter walk away with?
Like you just were speaking of having the heart of a champion, just never giving up. You know what I mean? Like you can get knocked back so many times, you can get knocked down so many times, but you can always get back up. That's one of the main things. Like we talk about making a turnover ain't a turnover until you don't get back. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you turn that ball over, you got to get back and try to turn it back over. You try to get it back. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things that I try to instill in kids. Like it's not over till it's over. So if you just keep trying, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like that's what I train. That's how I train. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna start off doing something that you don't know how to do. But long as you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it, you're gonna really perfect it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get opportunities to do something. And long as you consistent long as you're consistent with it, then you'll get what you want out of it. You know what I mean? And that work on both ways. You can consistently do something right, and you're gonna get the right thing from it. But you can consistently do something wrong, and you'll continue to get the wrong things from it. So,
What's the most rewarding part of coaching for you?
For me, the trust that the parents have in me with their kids, honestly. The trust that the parents have with me with their children, and the trust that the kids have with me with their lives, if you get what I'm saying. Like they know I got them, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a reward. Like I always go back to the first Fathers in the Hood video when my man my man Will's son walked up to me and he just like shake my hand like I'm doing what I'm doing right now. He just walking the camera like, Coach Mike, I just got a bucket. You know what I'm saying? And that right there was the best part of that right there. Like, you know what I mean? I'm looking at that whole video. I look at that whole video all the time, yo. And just the joy that he had in that moment that he wanted to share with me at that time, those be the rewards. It'd be the little things for me, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been doing Fathers in the Hood for 13 years, bro. You know, that's the reward for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing that I'm going to come back next year bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's bigger and better every year. I can attest to that. No doubt. So what's one of the biggest misconceptions about coaching and about coaches?
First and foremost, coaches, most of us don't get paid. Most of us don't get paid. It's volunteer work, you know what I'm saying? And
most of us, what's the percentage you would say when we get to the most?
98%. like 98%, like 99% of us don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So we doing it out of the love, and then doing it from love. The pressure that parents might put on the coach, not on me, because like I say, I'm blessed enough to have parents that trust me, but some parents have um, loftier goals than sometimes than their kids have. You know what I'm saying? Like some parents like try and live their dream through their kids, and when it comes to the kids just want to have fun. You know what I mean? And as a coach, um, you gotta be able to find a balance in that and be able to let the parent know, like, all right, this this is what the level of talent your kid is. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like you got parents that expect their kids to play, but their kids not the caliber or the player that they think they are, and they blame that on the coach. When at the end of the day, it might be the parent don't have time to get the kid to practice, or the kid not motivated when he come to practice, or the kid only think it's about offense and not about defense. It's a whole bunch of intricacies that go into why a kid may not, his attitude may be bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's different things that go into why some of these kids might not get to where they want to be at, or where their parents want to see them get at. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions. Like, it's the coach's fault. When at the end of the day, the coach might be doing everything that they can do, but under the circumstances, this is how much I can get out of this kid.
Right. So would you say a good player or a great player comes from the hard work that the player puts in, or it just comes from a coach?
Oh, it's always about the player. It's always about the player. Like, I could go play for any coach at the end of the day because I put the work in. Long as I put the work in and allow myself to be coached, you know what I'm saying? I can go play for anybody because I'm gonna just I'm going to be first in the drill. I'm going to try my best to be first in the drills. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to do everything that I can to be like I'm just, it's just instilled in me to do the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? And I think with some of these kids these days, they just go through the motions. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell a difference in a dog and a kid that's just gonna be mid-level, straight out the back, straight off as soon as they put the ball on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's a different motivation. It's a different venom that they got. You know what I'm saying? And some kids can gain it from being around other dogs. You know what I'm saying? But some kids just ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be willing to deal with every aspect of it and knowing how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So you can get the best out of each player.
What mistakes help you become a better coach?
First and foremost, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, like just not putting all my eggs in one basket.
No,
like,
I mean, not to cut you off. Mistakes in coaching as a coach.
All right. So sometimes I be too intense, you know what I'm saying? And I lose focus on what I might need to be focused on because I'm so caught up on that play, you know what I'm saying? Or I get into I'm into it with a ref, you know what I'm saying? Just knowing how to balance my intensity during the game because basketball is fluid. You know what I'm saying? It's a fluid sport, so it changes. You know what I mean? And I might be caught up on one play, but we on to the next play and can't get caught up in those things. So that's one thing that I've learned over time. Another mistake that I may have made. I make a lot of mistakes, honestly. I'm constantly learning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the coach that I want to be yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the mistakes that I make, I learn from. Like, For instance, again, we was talking about the championship game. The game before the championship game, I did a great job of substituting and getting the right players in at the right moments. I don't feel like I did that in the championship game. So just understanding my personnel, and that's one of my biggest mistakes right there is like, so we might get a lead, and again, like I was talking about the players that might not be as developed as other players, I might feel like it's a chance to implement them into the game and different stuff like that. And they get the game, we might lose a little bit of the lead. So now we fighting, you know what I'm saying? So little things like that, little intricacies like that in the game, trying to again be a developmental coach. I'm not to say I'm not trying to get to a different level, but right now, what my focus is development, because there's so many kids that don't know the game, you know what I mean, and don't know how to play. Because again, we knew how to play because we played outside, we played against each other, different stuff like that. Most of the kids just trained and they not playing on teams and different stuff like that. So learning how to implement development with the flow of the game now, you know what I'm saying? Being able to develop and use those developmental skills that you have and implement them into the game is one of the things that I really am learning as I go along, you know.
Okay, so how do you continue learning and improving as a coach?
First and foremost, watching other coaches, paying attention to other coaches. Like you just was talking about mistakes, paying attention to the mistakes that I make during those games and during those times, and just making sure that I am mindful of those things when they come up again. Yeah, that's pretty much the ways that I continue to grow. Just being around different coaches, learning from my players, you know what I'm saying? Learning from different players, you know what I'm saying? Those are things right there, bro.
All right, I got 2 questions to go back with. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Coach, which part of town did you grow up in?
West Baltimore. Like I said earlier, I lived in my lifetime in over 100 houses, but I grew up in West Baltimore. Most of my playing days from 11 to 20, I lived around, 11 to 23, I lived around the Poplar Grove area.
Okay.
Poplar Grove, baby.
You know, where we from in Baltimore, we like to claim folks. So, you know, they claiming them up in the Poplar Grove area. So he Poplar Grove strong. So for y'all other hoods that say he from, no, he not. He not. Just put that out there.
See, but I'm gonna say this. I'm a village baby. I grew up the village, you know what I'm saying? But then you can go down the avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue. I got stomped around there a little bit, so you know what I mean? I've been like I said, I lived a lot of places, mostly in West Baltimore though.
Okay. How would you describe the Baltimore style of play?
Hard, strong, guard oriented. You got a lot of guards, you know what I mean? You got some great big men, but you have mostly guards and a lot of pressing and trapping and full court man to man, and just trying to use intimidation. You know what I'm saying? Just intimidating you by going hard. That's the Baltimore style to me.
Yes, sir. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. You said, well, you told me in one word what was your style. If I was to ask one of your players, what would they say coach's style of play is?
They know Coach Mike like to get up and down the court. You know what I mean? So we do a lot of pressing. They would say just up and down. They say coach might like to get up and down. Like I say, I'm a pressure. I put a lot of pressure on the ball, especially if I got good enough guards to play. That really determined how I play defense and how I run my offense. Offensively, just fluid. I don't got a whole lot of sets that I use. I let the kids. I got sets that I use, and I can put them in different sets and different stuff like that. But again, I want to develop some dogs and some kids that can just go and get it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm getting the ball up and down the court. We're gonna press. We're gonna try to get the ball in the break. We're gonna try to score quick.
Okay. Coach, what's your long-term vision for your coaching career?
So I'm giving myself 5 years to really get to my next level. Like I say, I'm focused on developing right now, developing players, but also just developing myself, preparing myself to become who I see myself as a coach. I see myself on a higher echelon when I get to coach. You know what I'm saying? One of my dreams was to coach at my high school, and that's where I thought to cap it at. But now I see I could do more with it, so that ain't where I'm capping it at. You know what I mean? But I am focused on my program and just building my program and developing my program. So within that, I know that my goals with coaching gonna grow. So my long-term coaching goals is just to allow it to take it as far as God wants me to see. I never thought I was gonna be a coach. I thought I was gonna be a player. You know what I'm saying? So being in this space right now, it's not about me. It's more so about these kids and just trying to get these kids in the positions that they're trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about for me.
What was a turning point season for you?
I would say we started a development league at Premier. When we started the development league at Premier, it was a really good league. And I believe I had two teams. I had a 10U team and I had a 14U team. And I believe that during those times is when I really became a better coach. The 10U team, like all them kids right now are in the 9th grade. And when I look at them kids right now that's going to the 9th grade, like I know how much work that I put in with them and how much love they gained from the game during that time. And then the 14U kids are going to college. And watching those kids, I'm talking about Khalees Fisher, I'm talking about these other kids that like I just know right then and there is when I became like the kind of coach that I wanted to be. We both won the league. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to like move on from there, and that's when I really started my own program from that point. Because once the development league was over, the parents reached out to me and was like, "Look, we want you to coach our kids. We want to put a team at Premier, and we want you to coach." You know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much the first time the parents came to me and was like, "Coach Mike," you know what I'm saying? Like not just we want you to coach the team. And it was like, all right.
Okay, so was that a team? Was that a time that your team surprised you?
Um, that 10U team I knew was good, but the growth in the time that we had from, I would say, like March to July. Like the development league was from March until I want to say May. Then the parents came to me. By July, we done won 2 championships. I didn't think they was that good. You know what I'm saying? We done won 2 championships, and yeah, it was like, oh, all right, yeah, I'm doing a good job with these kids. You know what I'm saying?
What was the best team you ever coached and why?
Uh, I just had a team. I would say the team that I just coached. Um, the 14U team that I just coached in Premier League. Because these some guys that I had together for they 14 now, 14, 15. I had them since they was 11, 12. And again, they was rejects. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to coach them no more. Like, nobody wanted to, grab them. Nobody wanted to, even their parents, like, kind of gave up on them. You know what I'm saying? And I had an opportunity to just help them. You know what I mean? And to go and do the things that we was doing over this fall, unexpectedly, because like I said, I got 5 dogs and I got 5 underdeveloped kids. You know what I'm saying? And just to watch them work together with minimal practice, bro. Like, we was practicing once or twice a week. You know, not twice a week. We was practicing maybe once a week, and if we weren't practicing once a week, and to come and we was smoking teams. You know what I'm saying? Again, and just the trust that the parents had for me is what kind of made it more fulfilling for me. You know what I'm saying? It made it a lot more fulfilling for me. You know, if we'd have won the championship, though, that would have been way more sweeter.
So when you say that we have one practice a week and sometimes we may not have that, is that due to the lack of resources in the city?
Absolutely.
How would you say, or what would you say the solution would be for something like that?
Um, the Rex and the Rex situation has been a detriment in our city since I was a kid, for real. We need to have more access to Rex, and that's the main thing. You feel me? Like, again, I had St. Edwards. It was a haven for the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had different walks of life coming through there, but you had them in there and at peace. You know what I'm saying? I watched that pillar in the neighborhood shut down and watched it shift everything. Not to say it was the best neighborhood before, but I saw it become one of the worst neighborhoods after. You know what I'm saying? And if you go from community to community to community to community, you'll see that same thing. The places where kids could go to gain some knowledge, some peace, some play, those things not there no more. And then when you implement these video games with that sell violence, the music that sell violence, the movies that sell violence, and sex and all these different things, we become products of that. So when we change the environment that we in, we'll become different products. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I look at it. Like, we got to get them more access to different things, and that's why Fathers in the Hood is so important to me because I'm going to give them financial literacy. I'm going to give them home improvement. I'm going to show them first aid and CPR so when they're in situations they can handle themselves. I'm going to open their eyes up to culinary things, food, cooking, and different stuff like that. Like, I want to allow them to see so much more.
Okay. As a coach, what would you say was your most proudest moment?
As a coach, my proudest moment as a coach, I would say that's probably as a father. But it's also as a coach. My proudest moment as a coach is probably having a few kids that like right now, like you got Khalees Fisher. I helped develop her, you know, and I know her dream was to make it to UConn, and watching her play at UConn right now is just it was an honor to be a part of that. Bub Carrington, it was an honor to be a part of his growth and his development. Just having players that I work with fulfill their dreams. That's probably the proudest that I'd be. Like I take pride in being a part of that. You know what I'm saying? That's probably it. My son, you know, being able to coach my son and watching him develop and grow. You know, that's a proud moment for me. It's a proud moment. I was on a fence because, like I said, it could be as a father, but as a coach, he wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? He wants to put the work in, and just watching him put the work in, and just knowing that a lot of the stuff that I instilled in him, even when he going to work with other coaches, you know what I'm saying? It brings pleasure to me. It brings pleasure to me to know that he can step in anywhere and be able to do the things that they asked me to do because he knows, because he's been around me. And just watching him, like he's a little coach, you know what I'm saying? Like not the way that I well probably want him to be, but everything he do it already. Like I talk about Pierre, you feel me? Like and how everything has already been instilled in me. It's like so much that's instilled in him already that he don't even recognize. You know what I'm saying? He just know. You know what I'm saying? Just from being around me as a coach, and that's some of the stuff that like when you been doing the things that you've been doing for so long, and people come back to you. Like I be saying, people, kids that I coached at 10, 11 years old, they 25 now. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Showing me the same love and respect. That those would be the moments right there. You know.
Already. I got about 2 more questions, and I'm gonna let you get out of here, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
You know, here where we from, Baltimore, we got a lot of rivalries from a lot of teams, a lot of players, right? So, moving on to the segment we call "I Would Do Anything." So, the segment says, "I would do anything to beat these SOBs." Okay, so this is the one team that you can't stand. They beat you all the time, or they got some really good players, or some really foul, evil hateful parents on the sideline cussing you out. It got to be something about this team, man. I would do anything to beat these SOBs.
So if you want to put it like that, like we talk about rivalries and different things like that, I would say our rivalry was Bentlow. You know what I'm saying? Two West Baltimore programs. You know what I'm saying? Bentlow a little bit more established than us. You know, but yeah, that was our rival, and we would do anything to beat them son of a bitches. You feel me? But
So that's Bentlow.
That's Bentlow. But also Oliver, yo. Oliver used to always, like Bucky Lee, they used to always catch us, yo. Like, in my younger years, I seen that was, we used to get smoked. You know what I'm saying? We was competitive, but a lot of times you get smoked. In my older years, though, like 16, 17, 18, all them teams that was smoking us, we was catching them and we was beating them. So when I go back to it, like I had 2-3 years, me, couple got me, Damon, Jennifer, Earl was on them teams. You had Terrell Danslow on them teams. Yeah, we swapped. We ran through a few teams. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I got a lot of them teams back, but Bentlow and Oliver, Cecil. They the three biggest names that I would say that they got me, but I know that I got them back though. I know I got them back though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would do anything to beat these SOBs. Cecil, Oliver, and especially Bentlow. Y'all know what's up.
Alrighty. We're going to go back to Coach Pierre one time.
What's up? It's Coach Mike. I just want to say to Coach Pierre, I thank you for saving my life. You know, I thank you for instilling everything that I have and everything that I do in me from an early age, man. You were somebody who was there to guide me and show me different things in life as a man. You taught me how to play ball. You taught me how so many different things, and I just appreciate you just for opening up your life, your family, your friends, everything to me, man, and just giving me a way out. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be nothing or nobody I am today if it wasn't for all the things that you helped me with, bro. So I appreciate you.
Coach Pierre came into your life early, and even on we can see it early on, he still has an impact on you. What legacy would you want to leave behind?
I actually feel like I'm doing a good job of the legacy that I'm building. Just being a man of my word, you know, just being somebody who people know that tried to do the right things and give back to my community. Somebody who knew who take care of not only his kids but the kids in our community. You know, those are things that I want to be remembered for. Though that's what I feel like my legacy is going to be. That's what I know my purpose is. You know what I'm saying? My purpose is just to help and serve people. You know what I mean? So when I'm not here no more, that's really what I want people to see and remember from me. It's just somebody who would give everything that he had to help whoever he could, you know.
Alrighty. Appreciate you. We like to thank Coach Pierre. Coach, if there's any coach that you can think of, and I know we touching on Coach Pierre right now, pause. If there's any coach that you can think of right now that you want to see on the couch, he got a compelling story. He's been helping the community. He's been giving back. What coach would you like to get on the couch? And you got to help him get on the couch too.
That's a lot of coaches, man. I know Terrell and Darnell Dansler, Omar Smith, definitely would love to catch Damon Jennifer over here. That's my brother. And he been doing a lot of big things. I know he'll have a lot of jewels to drop for you. Who else, man?
Don't be giving me all these names. You gonna have to help me get somebody.
I'm gonna help you get all of them. Who you want to get on here first?
We ain't work that part out.
All right, but they the 4 names that I say right there. Well, the 5 names: Donnell Terrell, Dansler, Omar Smith, Damon Jennifer. Yeah, they some good coach. They some good people to have here to give you some good stuff, yo.
Okay.
And I can probably make that happen for you.
So we pretty much done. I got one more thing to do though. So I got two seconds it's gonna take. Coach, we'd like to give you flowers over here, baby. On behalf of the crew channel and the Coach's Corner, got your gold whistle and flowers, baby.
Appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you. On behalf of the crew channel and the Coach's Corner, got your gold whistle and flowers, baby.
Appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
The crew channel. And so we'll go ahead, let me get the good picture. Go ahead, stand up right there with it.
Appreciate you, dog.
On behalf of the crew channel and the Coach's Corner.
Shot. Catches in middle of the lane.
Why you can still smell them, baby. Why you can still smell them, baby. Appreciate you. So let me get a good pose. You ready? 1, 2, 3. My God. Coach Mike, ladies and gentlemen.